So for right now, we are going to watch OSM Swiss Style and the new OSM Swiss Base Map. Perhaps you've seen the poster about this downstairs. I'm very much looking forward to this session. So Stefan Keller is going to be presenting, or I guess did present, and we're now going to watch it, after which we will switch over to the Q&A. So enjoy, have fun, and I will talk to you again from the next room over in a few minutes.
Hi, I'm Stefan Keller. I'm from Eastern Switzerland, University of Applied Sciences. I'd like to present the OSM Swiss Style and the new OSM Swiss Base Map. Why a new style? A base map for use in thematic maps in many applications, such as in tourism and mobility, is needed as far as I perceived. And I have been inspired by the tradition of Swiss cartography, actually educated from there, which combines relief and modern technologies like vector tiles and innovations based on OpenStreetMap and the QRank dataset. We'll come back on this. I'm actually also encouraged to do this by the OpenStreetMap Americana style, which has been there before. And so, enter the OSM Swiss style and the new OSM Swiss base map based on that style, which got actually that nice logo. So who is who in producing such a style? We organized a small project starting with my lab from Ost, and I got collaborators from the renowned Institute of Cartography and Geoinformation, and then also Sourcepole joined, and also people from the Swiss OpenStreetMap Association. What is the OSM Swiss style? It's like Swiss map design which meets OpenStreetMap. So we are looking for a base map based on OpenStreetMap data and with emphasis on a balanced color scheme with clear symbols, with clear categorization, and especially also with the emphasis on balanced public transport versus private transport. You see here the structure and the color scheme where we categorized the points of interest, those categories. And so the properties of that Swiss style that more or less wants to mention are that we tried to design the style having public transport shown as important as private transport, as I said before. And also, as said before, based on new vector tiles technology, rather new vector tiles technology, based on open source software and on open data, which means not only OpenStreetMap, but also other data. And then we are striving for a potentially worldwide coverage, but currently, because of resources, the limited resources, we are focusing on the bounding box of Switzerland. The style license is CC BY. So let's look at the first map on Zoom level 8, where we see important cities, actually the main cities of the cantons shown in that bounding box. And actually the bounding box, of course, shows the whole Switzerland, but this is the zoom level where you see more detail. and then zooming in into zoom level about 12, going to Sargans, eastern Switzerland, where you see more closely the rock symbolization. And then you see also in red the train, and in orange the highways and main streets in yellow. You also see the cable cars over there and up there. So finally, at the zoom level where point of interest are showing up, you see the icons of the POIs in the old town of the city of Rapperswil, where our university is located. And the icons should be self-describing, and because they are mostly inspired by OpenStreetMap icons, and we'll tell you more about this in a minute. And you see footways, and you also see details for pedestrian navigation, and then you see land cover up here, and you see cultural heritage things up there, and of course food and beverage, and also clothing stores, and then their ATMs, for example. That's about what you see. You will see also that buildings are not purely black as some as other Swiss style it shows, and you see also the um, these nice this categorization of the food on the ways versus streets versus main streets. And what's to say about the data and the graphics once again? It's vector data, as you suppose, and we chose the schema from Shortbread, which we had extended for our needs, which is an interesting thing to follow and make it as good practice how to do that. Then we are using other open data sources like the famous hill shading from Switzerland, which gives that 3D effect when looking from above. This is based originally from the Swiss Alti3D, Swiss Topo Alti3D product. And then we also took the rock shading from Swiss Topo Light Base Map, which is also open data, but which limits that thing to the border of Switzerland. Which is of course not something we would want in the long term, because we want to have a worldwide coverage. And then we are using terrain contour lines for Switzerland and the bounding box based on the worldwide terrarium tiles. And these are, as you may know, 3D tiles. It's a 3D height model, and so you can actually tilt the map as you can do in MapLibre. And then we do have graphical assets, as said, the icons, where we redesigned and aligned all icons, but based on OpenStreetMap icons plus Versatiles plus Swiss Topo, but we tried to make a coherent look and feel for those icons. And then we chose Roboto as a free font family for the labels. I already told you we are using MapLibre GL JS with plugins and of course JavaScript and CSS. And we are producing PMTiles format. We are and that's the plugin for that. For proto tiles, we are using the MapLibre contour plugin, which we had to patch for reading PMTiles. And hopefully that will be merged upstream into that plugin. So let's see. And third, we are using the MapLibre geocoder for geocoding purposes. In the backend, we are producing the PMTiles with Tilemaker, and the Tilemaker is using Lua scripts with that nice scripting language. We are also using a bunch of helper tools. So for example, for the running commands, we are using just, which is a kind of make light tool. We are, as said, using PMTile viewer, the Go PMTiles viewer for previewing reasons. We are using the map style editor MapLibre for some initial designing before we have to do that in plain text when the style becomes complex, and it will, and it went complex actually, as you expect. And then we do have used the sprite converter Spreed. And then we implemented ourselves some kind of report generator which consumes style sheets and tries to find all styles we used in the JSON file of the MapLibre GL JS in order to keep an overview which styles we are using at which level. So the future plans of that map style are to generate a legend out of our style report, to have an automatically generated kind of human readable legend which explains the styles, the classes, and icons. And then we are struggling actually with some nasty Tilemaker issues. So we are hoping to add a function to read that Shay, no doubt that Shay shape files, and replace those in order to have better formats. And then we are really struggling with those wobbly lines generated by Tilemaker at the high zoom level. So Richard, we are desperate. So when you look at the right, you see there's some tramways, and the original way from that line, they are okay, but for some reason there is some numeric issue going on here, and nobody could tell us so far how to resolve these unwanted wobbly lines. Then we are planning to do an overhaul once again of the POI icons to make it even more nicer and smooth. And then the usual thing to enhance documentation, to also make it easier to potentially participate on that style and enhance it and maintain it. In the long term, there are many ideas to apply more cartographic generalization techniques. And also, I have some thoughts on deduplicating OpenStreetMap points. So, for example, when you have, say, campsites, and there are many camp places inside the campsite, to somehow ignore them and simply showing the whole campsite, or sometimes zoos are captured several times, buildings are tagged zoos within a zoo, and things like this. So to duplicate OSM POIs, and to make it even to make the map even more readable. And some other future plans are this times and some nice a nice hat tip to Richard. So looking into Glob, that Ruby tool, which hopefully will get us more control over complex styles, where we can use constants, where we can import many files into one style sheet, where we do have layer nesting where needed, where you have filters, expressions, where you have zoom ranges and types, where we do have comments, for example. And I'm suggesting actually that mascot for Glob. So, and who knows? And to sum up, we are proud to have collaborated on the creation of such a complex Swiss style. And having said that, we are also struggling with challenges like, scaling up the hardware and things like this. So what remains? It remains a lot of hard work and sweat. So because there is a lack of specialized knowledge in map styling. We do have computer scientists, programmers, but it's a niche and limited, and sometimes there is no user-friendly tooling even for computer scientists. And there is a hybrid technical and geographic information science skills involved. And sometimes it really looks like that sketch where you see this guy here trying to move the pictures at the wall, and when he touches it, everything breaks down, and at the end the room is devastated. So those who want to see that sketch, that's a very funny one, and that's how it feels sometimes when you modify some slight corner of your style. But it was fun, and it's still fun. We are looking forward and wanted to report about that one. So let's see that sketch for a second. Oops. And there you go. And that's that sketch. And so to sum up, have a look at the map at this website and discuss with us on communityosm.org Switzerland, or wherever you want, and ask us on GitHub, and contribute if you want. And that's it from my side. So I'm really looking forward for your questions, concerns, and comments.
Welcome back, everyone, to the live portion of this session. I have live on video conference with me now our presenter, Stefan Keller, who is going to answer any questions that you may have. Please enter them through Venulus if you are joining virtually. you know how that works. If you are live in the next room, you can either enter them directly through VenueList, or we do have a team in the room who can type them out on your behalf. We have quite a few questions and not a ton of time to get through them. So let's just dive into it, Stefan. Does that sound all right? Yeah, okay, great. Thank you. We appreciate you joining us today. So the first question, what about administrative boundaries? Nobody cares about them these days. I want nice, thick administrative boundaries, not me, the person asking the question.
I don't quite understand that what could be enhanced. We could more emphasize them. There are administrative boundaries in there. There should be have shown level 16 at least, and you see it on the Lake of Zurich. Just check that out. They are in definitely.
Excellent. Okay, that is fair. Thank you. Next question from VenueList. Switzerland is famous for plenty of referendums. Will there be a referendum among Swiss OSM users about the new style and its implementation?
Oh, yeah, yes, that's a nice question actually. But somehow, I'm sometimes joking about OpenStreetMap being an alternative to the official Swiss map. So I would count that as a kind of vote of the people. Yes, not a referendum, but the vote of the people who wanted to have an even better Swiss map, even better than that one, which has been has won a prize at the international conference of cartography in Canada. And that they won a prize, and I'm always saying our style is even better.
Ah, that's very cool. I like that. Okay, excellent. The next question is kind of related, I believe. Will this style already be implemented on the OpenStreetMap.ch webpage?
There are plans to revamp that OpenStreetMap a Swiss homepage. It won't be on OpenStreetMap.ch because that one is not an endorsed one by the Swiss OpenStreetMap Association, unfortunately. So look forward to have this implemented on OSM.ch and not OpenStreetMap.ch.
Got it. Okay, great. Thank you. Another question. This one is not through our VenueList. This one's just from me. So you had mentioned in there something about ranking your mountain names and your place labels. Could you go into a little bit more detail on that?
Yes, thank you for that question. I actually somehow left that out in my recorded in my recording, and as you have seen, there is some ranking implemented. So because when you zoom out, only important the label names are shown, and also mountains, like the Matterhorn or others are shown very prominently. And if you zoom in, it's still not overpopulated. And that's thanks to another open data set I mentioned on my slide 10. It's the QRank data set, which is available on Wikimedia storage sites. And that is a signal based on a count of Wikipedia pages of every language, averaged to somehow 1 year. And since mountain names and administrative names are covered by Wikidata and by many Wikipedia websites, we get the signal how important a certain label is, and so we can derive the importance, the priority of such a label. And that's a very important feature on a cartographic map. I actually would recommend that open data set also for quite some other applications, like geocoding, where you have to decide which is shown first in a ranking, and other applications where you don't want to overclutter your map.
Amazing. It's so cool, all of the amount of thought and detail that you have put into this project. We are so appreciative of your time putting together the video, the poster, and then of course joining us for this Q&A today. Do you have any brief comments that you would like to make to close out today's session?
Yeah, I think as I closed my slides, I wanted to emphasize, I mean, being somehow a software engineer and a geographer, where we usually do a program and we do have this kind of work going into software development. But I found out that developing such a map style is somehow even more demanding and a very niche activity also, because probably the tools are also quite special. But it really takes the time and also kind of being staying on it. And I wanted just to make it some comparison that famous Swiss maps since many 50 years or so. The last style, the official Institute of Topography, Swiss Topo, developed, took them 8 years with many people working on it, and we only had 8 months. But that was still a work of about 3 people working on it, quite almost full time, two people or something, interns actually, but still, it's really hard work, and I really appreciate how and have respect of others doing styling like Americana and all those other maps now being produced based on vector tiles.
Fantastic. Well, we appreciate you as well. Thank you once again for your time. This has been fantastic. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope you're able to tune in for some of our content tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Goodbye.